Grand Rapids. And, oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I looked for the rapids. Where are you hiding the rapids? There's a little crickle thingy over the thingy. It's like a little pebble and a trick. What? Did they take away the rapids?
They're coming back. Bring them back.
Why? Who thought that up?
Conspiracy.
It's for the fish? The fish don't mind rapids.
Oh.
Okay, well, on this trip, they put me up in a nice hotel, the JW Marriott, very nice hotel. So I thought I'd photograph their elevator bank. There's a 13th floor. So, but I'm a data-taking person, and you can't base a whole theory on one data point. So I said, let me get at least a second data point. So I ran across the street to the Amway Grand, okay? And they've got a tower. So I ran into the tower, went into the elevator bank. It had a 13th floor. So 2 for 2. I congratulate you that 2 out of 2 buildings had a 13th floor. Because I feel like taking my Sharpie to these other buildings, crossing off the 14th floor, saying, that's the 13th floor, you're not fooling me. Let me get back to that in a minute. Because I asked the question, if you look around the world, ask what country is known for its engineering?
Germany.
What country?
Germany.
Germany, of course. In fact, it's a selling point. German engineering. Be it a car or some kind of device, German engineering. There could be other people doing good engineering too. In fact, Brazil is the 3rd largest aerospace manufacturer in the world. But if you tell an American, you just say the word Brazil, what does the American think? They think soccer, they think rainforest, got a tree hugger over there, spotted. So we got soccer, rainforest, what else?
Plastic surgery.
Nuts, Brazil nuts, good.
Plastic surgery.
Coffee, got the coffee addicts. Bikinis!
Not this time of year.
Last I checked, they were monokinis, actually. But none of you are thinking engineering. Yet their aerospace industry is $20 billion a year operation. Most regional jets flown in America are designed, built, and manufactured in Brazil. But the phrase Brazilian engineering doesn't have that ring to it. Right, so they're sort of Johnny-come-latelys on the engineering front. They don't have the legacy. Germany does. And when I look at elevator banks, this one doesn't have it, but the other one did. Oh, it doesn't go below. So there's the lobby level, and then there's buttons below lobby. And below lobby, you typically have B for what? Basement, and then SB, sub-basement, and then SB, B, permutations of these letters without vowels. Okay, and I'm thinking, there's a perfectly legitimate mathematical system for describing floors below ground. And negative numbers. And in fact, where do we have to go to find it? We land in Germany. Oh, you can't see that? Can you see it now? There it is. You go to Germany, they're not afraid of negative numbers the way we are. In fact, this is not their science museum. This is their history museum. This is not some special exhibit where they're going to show Euler's formula, you know? But 8 of you in the audience know Euler's formula. It's a really crazy formula. E to the I pi equals -1. Craziest formula you ever met in your life. Because it has E, it has the imaginary number in it, it has pi, and somehow all that equals -1. That's crazy. Euler was a crazy smart dude. But and he was a Swiss, by the way. But the fact is, there are countries where they don't fear negative numbers. In this country, accountants don't even use negative numbers. Raise your hand if you're an accountant. We have one accountant out of 3,000 people. How come you don't use negative? You use like parentheses. What's up with that? But explain yourself and your whole community. And who remember fondly 2012. Yes. Last I checked, the world is still here. And planet Nibiru, which doesn't exist, never hit us. The Mayan predictions from, 700 years ago, there are people who seriously believe that the Mayans had a better understanding of astrophysics than we do today. What is your motivation for that? Or that Earth's axis would tip, or that the sun would explode. And this went on and on and on. I was convinced that people were only happy when they believed the world was going to end. I was at a party, and some man walks up to me. He said, I heard this is like 2010. He said, some people told him, I hear you're an astrophysicist. I said, yes. And he's like very eager. And he says, I heard the world is going to end in 2012. And that the Earth will line up with the center of the galaxy and the sun. And there's a black hole in the center of the galaxy. And the extra gravity is going to tip Earth off our axis. It's going to be the end of life as we know it. And I said, that alignment that you speak of, Earth, the center of the galaxy, and the sun, that's real. That's going to happen on December 21st, 2020. But what he didn't ask me was, how often does that happen? It happens every year, December 21st. December 21st. Every year. Every year. And then he walked away dejected. He wanted the world to end. Like, what's wrong with these people? I gave him what I thought was really good news. How to survive 2012. Tactics, what does that say here? Tactics and survival places for the coming pole shift. There was no pole shift. But people sold you books on that assumption. They'll sell you an astrology book. They'll sell you a book so that you don't get abducted. They'll sell you a book on how to be a psychic while not winning the lottery. There's also fear of physics, I think. My professional organization, I'm a member of several organizations. One of them is the American Physical Society, APS. And we have an annual meeting, and occasionally they're in Las Vegas. Vegas is a big convention center. But we went there a few years back, and this is what happened. American Physical Society was asked to never return to the city. Some more physics. By the way, are there any Bayer plants in the state or nearby? Yes. Good. Okay. So, Bayer once took out an ad. Here it is. I don't know if you can see it. I have to read it from here because it's a quarter mile away. So this is a program that Bayer instituted where they get their own scientists, chemists, and pharmaceutical folks to go into the school to give hands-on experience to students. That's what the point of it is. A noble program. Who wouldn't? Okay. So it has 2 students there, and the caption, you're on. Try to get them interested in why lighter things fall faster than heavier things. Come on, it's your turn. And I'm thinking, but it continues, Bayer employees volunteer in a hands-on inquiry-based program making science make sense. to help kids develop a lasting passion for science. So, a couple of things. So I have an issue with the fact that what they show here as the challenging kids is a black kid and a woman there. These are the challenging cases, okay? How about the white guy with the tattoo who just came off the motorcycle? Where's he in this picture? Plus, in what universe do light things fall faster than heavy things? That's not this universe. So somebody wrote that down wrong. The copy editor missed it. The layout person missed it. The designer for the magazine missed it. Everybody missed it along the line. What they really meant was Galileo's experiment. They would ultimately fix the ad. It says, you're on. Try to get them to, what's the word there? Interested in why lighter things fall as fast as heavier things. So that's the Galileo. In fact, I can demonstrate that. What can I do here? So take a, this is pretty heavy, 16 ounces or so. What can I draw? Got something I can draw? A pencil, good, just toss me the pencil. I can catch. Really good, oh, you can't throw. Okay, that's right. Okay. I'm going to drop this bottle of water and the pencil at the same time. Can you guys see this pencil in the background?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, you can? Oh, cool, because I can't barely see it. Okay, right? There you have it.
That's only one data point, so we have to do it again.
So they fixed it. But what it really means is, the person who should be in that program is the person who wrote this ad, okay? This will take a little explaining. So Holiday Inn in the UK decided to institute a new marketing plan where, how often has it been where you have a hotel room, you had a long, hard day, and you come home and you get into bed and the sheets are cold, right? So they had this brilliant idea that you could hire human bed warmers, right? So they get in your bed before you do, and they warm up the bed, and then you come in and it's nice and toasty, human body temperature. Now, you don't want their skin touching your sheets. Who knows where they've been? So what do? They wrap them and insulate them in these fluffy, towely things, including their hands. Now they are thermally insulated and no longer delivering their heat to the sheets. That's how thermodynamics works. That's how a thermos works. They are thermoses now. Their heat is not getting out. They are not warming the bed. The person who wrote this ad flunked Physics 101. Now, what I'm also intrigued, the guy in the middle, who's clearly the person renting the hotel room, he's looking at her, she's looking at the other guy, but the guy's looking at him. So it's an interesting, So the physics people have issues with physics. Here's one, there's an actual billboard taken out. This was kind of cool. Okay? The Big Bang Theory. You gotta be kidding. God. First, I didn't know God had billboards. I didn't know that's how God did his work here. So this is people who are so upset by the discoveries of science that they're taking out a billboard to argue it. Right? A billboard. And now here's someone who decided to take a middle ground. You might not be able to read it from the back row. Here's a bumper sticker saying the Big Bang Theory, God spoke and bang, it happened. So this one, God is cool with the Big Bang. In fact, God made the Big Bang, but God made the Big Bang, right? Not that God says you gotta be kidding about the Big Bang. So it's just interesting how people are sort of voting what they want to be true, regardless of what the evidence is telling us. They're uncomfortable with certain truths out there. We have a scary legal system. Any lawyers in the audience? 3 lawyers. Are there no professional people? What? Okay, what are you people? No, students. No, I see some old faces out here. Unless you got some old students, there's some folks who should be other professions out here. Teachers, good. Teachers. Oh, we lost the L there. Psychologists. Good, thank you. Maybe I'll get to you later, the psychologist. What else? Who else haven't I picked on yet? A filmmaker, yes. Military. Booyah, okay? Was that the wrong branch of the military? Who does the booyah?
Nobody does booyah, that's hoorah.
Excuse me. As you may know, if you spend enough time in one place, I think it's 3 years, with one address, and you're above a certain age, the government will call on you to serve jury duty, okay? I must have been 31 before I first served before I was called to jury duty. And so, at the time I was teaching a seminar at Princeton University on the evaluation of data, to science as a method of inquiry. And so it's jury duty time. So I go in, and I want to serve my duty here. Okay, it's in the Constitution. You got to go serve jury duty. So I'm there, and I make it into like the last 20 before they whittle it down to 12. And then the lawyer does the Q&A part. Except lawyers don't call it Q&A, do you? You find some obscure French word so that no one knows what you're talking about. What term do you call the Q&A part? Voir dire. Why do you call it voir dire? This is America, Jack. We speak English here. In my profession, you know what we call spots on the sun? Sunspots, yeah. That's the official name that they have. You know what we call the beginning of space, time, and everything? Big Bang, okay? 2 syllables right there. English, pal. Big red star, red giants. This is my lexicon. You have Q&A with the jury, and you can't just call it Q&A. Okay. We're in the voir dire part. And they get to me and they say, oh, so what is your profession? This is before I was well known. And they say, what's your profession? I say, I'm an astrophysicist. What is that? So I say, oh, I study the laws of physics as manifest on Earth and apply them to the rest of the universe. Okay, and it says here you teach. What do you teach? And I teach a course at Princeton on how science works, and the evaluation of data, and the relative unreliability of eyewitness testimony. 5 minutes later, I was out on the street. Discounted because I had some understanding of how bad eyewitness testimony is. I was unfit to serve the legal system. Second time jury duty, 3 years later. It was a drug possession case. The accused was right there in the room, as is normal for this sort of thing. I spelled it, what I spelled wrong? Oh, I left out an S? But did you know what the word was, even though I left out an S? Or were you completely confused and thought it meant something different? I was wondering. Actually, I'll make it up to you, okay? This year, a word that I invented was just inducted into the Oxford English Dictionary. I'm just trying to make up for messing up the spelling here. In New York City, twice a year, the sun sets exactly on the grid of Manhattan, and it makes for beautiful framed sunsets with the tall buildings on the canyon, and the sun is exactly on the grid. And I called it Manhattan Henge. reminiscent of Stonehenge, and I got a call from the editors, and they put it in this year. So at Manhattan Henge. So, drug possession. So the guy was there, and he said he's accused of selling to an agent, a DEA person. What was it? It was 17 grams of cocaine. This is not in doubt, blah, blah, blah. And do you have any questions about the particulars of the case? The judge read this, okay? So I said, Your Honor, I'm curious. Oh, sorry, did I say 17 milligrams of cocaine? No, sorry. Hang on, check the notes. Yeah. I swear that's not one of my screensavers, so I don't know. Okay. Will that work? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, no, so I'm about to tell you. The person is fixated on cocaine here. How much did he have? I gotta find out. You know, okay. Don't delay that part of the story, you know. The number was 7,000 milligrams of cocaine.